Okay, let's add and subtract some rational numbers. Okay, so we're going to add and subtract fractions. Remember that to do that, you have to have a common denominator. The bottom number has to be the same. Okay, so here we have the same number on bottom. All we have to do is add the top, a plus c. And when it's subtraction, if you have the same number on bottom, you do a minus c. So on this one, common denominator is 7. So we're going to do 3 plus 2 and get 5 over 7, which won't reduce. On this one, common denominator is 12. 11 minus 5 gives us 6 over 12. Now 6 goes into this one time, and 6 goes into 12 twice, so that will reduce to 1/2. Now before we do this one, you must make them an improper fraction. So negative 5 times 4, okay, is going to give me, or let's just keep it negative. Do 5 times 4 is 20. 20 plus 1 is 21 over 4. So that would be negative 21 over 4. Okay? Now remember, these two minus the negative is going to make that positive. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 3 is 11. So that's going to be 11 over 4. So we have a negative 21 over 4 plus 11 over 4. Now, one's negative, one's positive. So remember, we're going to subtract. 21 minus 11 is 10. And because I had more negatives, I'm going to have negative 10 over 4, right? You always keep the sign of the bigger. We had more negatives than positives. Now this reduces to a negative 5/2. That's an improper fraction. We can also make this a mixed number of negative 2 and 1/2. Now it's a little bit harder when you don't have the same denominator. You have to get the least common denominator, which we did in the last section, to add them. These can be a little trickier. And now's a good time to remind you, this class you're allowed to use a calculator. Most calculators have a fraction button. If you really struggle with fractions, there's no reason that you can't take that calculator and figure out how to use it to your advantage. Okay? So we're going to add 3/4 plus 1/6. We need a common denominator of 4 and 6. So remember from the last section, this one would be 2 squared when you factor 4. And 6 is 2 times 3. You put what they have in common to the highest, or not actually what they have in common. You put everything you see to the highest power. You see a 2, that would be squared, and you see 1, 3. This would be 4 times 3, which is 12. 12 is our least common denominator. So we need to take 3/4 and change it to 12s here. 4 times 3 is 12. So you have to multiply the top and the bottom by 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 3 is 12. We have to take the 6 and change it to a 12. We have to multiply by 2, top and bottom. 1 times 2 is 2. 6 times 2 is 12. Now we have a common denominator and we add the top. 9 plus 2 is 11. And 11 over 12 will not reduce. So we're done.